This morning, Georgia's Senate voted to create a special investigation committee to look into the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. Backers want the panel to learn more details about the alleged relationship between District Attorney Fani Willis and the special prosecutor Nathan Wade that her office hired. Documents show the county has paid Wade now more than $680,000 for his work. Willis and Wade are prosecuting former President Donald Trump in an election interference case. Now, Republicans in the Senate carried the party line vote in the Senate this morning over objections of Democrats. Meantime, former President Trump now joining the effort to get DA Willis dismissed from the 2020 election case. We should note the filing does not include any new evidence, but Mr. Trump's team does accuse Willis of inappropriately injecting race into the case. The judge set a hearing next month on those misconduct allegations. He's also given the DA's office until next Friday to respond.
All right, guys, so we have an update on the Fani Willis RICO case against Trump that seems to be falling apart with each and every passing day, okay, as the Georgia State Senate has voted to investigate Miss Fani Willis. You also have local Fulton County commissioners that are basically demanding that there are some investigations into the DA's office, that there are audits that are done on the office for improper spending of taxpayer dollars. And now you have Trump coming out and moving to have the case dismissed against him because of the allegations of the inappropriate sexual relationship that Miss Fani Willis is having with her special prosecutor, Mr. Nathan Wade, that she hired to go after Trump. Take a look.
A judge to drop all charges related to Georgia's election interference case against him.
The prosecution is accused of alleged misconduct.
Caroline Elliott joins us live from Atlanta with more from the court filing. Caroline.
Well done, Scott. The former president wants the judge to dismiss this case because of a, quote, alleged misconduct and an inappropriate relationship in this case. Now, the relationship in question here is between District Attorney Fani Willis and Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. The court filing claims Fani Willis and Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade have a personal relationship and that the DA has paid the Special Prosecutor over $650,000 for working on this case. The court filing also claims he used taxpayer dollars to take Willis on vacations. Now, neither District Attorney Willis nor the Special Prosecutor have confirmed or denied a romantic relationship between the two, but court documents show credit card statements with trips purchased for both Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. There's plane tickets to Miami, flights to San Francisco, as well as cruises and hotel stays. And one of Trump's co-defendants has also asked the judge to toss this case. The judge gave the DA's office until February 2nd to respond. The request to drop these charges came as lawyers for another one of Trump's co-defendants requested more information about communications between the White House and the district attorney's office in this case.
The White House has its fingerprints on all 4 criminal prosecutions of President Trump. And now we know they have their fingerprints on this case.
Yeah, so you see now, you heard that, okay? This case is continuing to fall apart, so much so that Trump has now officially requested that this case be dropped. The charges be dropped, the case be dismissed, and I don't know if that's necessarily what's going to happen, but I do believe that it is almost certain that Fani Willis is not going to be able to stay on this case. And the reason why is because at the very least, it is a distraction from the case itself, and the case can't move forward unless she does something about these allegations against her. As long as these allegations are here and she's having to deal with this situation, it's going to be hard to move forward with the trial, and that is going to delay the trial and push the trial back to after the election, which is what the mainstream liberal media, they don't want, right? Democrats don't want that either, because the whole point is to try to get Trump convicted before the election, to try to sway the outcome of the election, to try to have Trump put in jail before the election. However, it looks like that's not going to happen, right? And if she has to drop from the case, then that's going to push the case back even more. So it seems like at the very least, okay, if these charges don't get dropped altogether, which I hope that they do, right? If they don't, she will be dropped from the case, and the case will be pushed back and delayed even further, which will be a complete and total embarrassment for her and also, again, defeat the point of the charges in the first place, because they're not legitimate. They're only there to try to affect the outcome of the 2024 election. So with that being said, the writing's on the wall here when it comes to what's about to happen with this case and Fani Willis. And I want to react to The View, who are coping, right? They're coping. The cackling hens are coping over the fact that Miss Fani Willis got herself in this situation, and they're pissed, right? They're pissed about it because the plan against Trump is falling apart. It is pretty hilarious. So without further ado, let's get into it.
So could these allegations compromise the case against him? Is stepping down the best move here?
I don't think the allegations are going to compromise the case against him.
Against Trump.
He's clearly a criminal in my view. And prosecutors, we used to say prosecutors were like roaches. Like, you get rid of 2 and then like 10 more show up. So even if she resigns and even if he resigns, they're just going to be 2 perhaps even better prosecutors to take their place. So
why does
that's not the issue.
Why does Trump keep saying she should resign?
Well, I think the issue is that there is an appearance of impropriety if you are sleeping as the district attorney. If you are, allegedly.
She doesn't admit to that.
She's not admitting to that. If you
but she ain't denying it either, right? She ain't denying it, right? Nathan Wade's not really denying it because we know that it's true, okay? But again, the point here is really not about the charges getting dropped. It's about the fact that the more this case gets delayed, it defeats the purpose of the case in general, okay? Because the purpose of the case is to try to get Trump convicted before the election to sway the outcome of the election, okay? To have Trump in jail, right, before the election. That's what they're trying to do, okay? So the case continuing to get pushed back really is, again, defeating the whole purpose of the case, which is something that Sonny here is refusing to acknowledge, except she's going to be forced to acknowledge it here in a few minutes.
Or sleeping with your special counsel that you appointed to a job and that person makes money doing that, right? So that's a problem. But the other thing we need to remember is this is probably one of the strongest cases against Trump, and she asked 2 other much more qualified lawyers to take it on, and they did not want to. I would not want to take this job on. You know what it's like to cross Trump. You get death threats. Your family gets death threats. Right. What lawyer wants to do that? She went actually to a lawyer that I know who's a former federal prosecutor. His name is Gabe, what's his last name? Gabe Banks. He's turned it down. She went to Roy Barnes, who was the former governor of Georgia, one of the state's premier lawyers, who I also know. He turned it down.
Maybe because it's weak, right? Maybe because they don't want to blemish their record with these weak, trumped up charges, right? But again, she's implying that they turned it down because, well, you know, I guess Trump supporters are going to issue them death threats, right, for taking on the case. I think it has more to do with the fact that these charges are weak rather than anything else. But hey, that's just my opinion.
And then she settled on this other guy. He doesn't have that much experience prosecuting RICO cases and prosecuting this kind of case. This is the best that she got.
But if you are sleeping with a prosecutor and paying him $650,000, if it doesn't matter if you're black, white, green, purple, brown, it is wrong.
Yes.
And it is unethical, and I think it's against the rules of professional regulation of the legal. And it does affect the case. There's many cases that have fallen apart because an attorney is sleeping with a client, or people in the prosecutor's office are having phone sex with a witness. I mean, I'm not making it up. Go look at Griselda, you know, the one that's on Netflix now.
Which is very good.
She was like, she killed everybody, and the second case against her fell apart because 2 employees at the prosecutor's office were having phone sex with a witness. You don't
with the witness, yes.
At a minimum, this is going to delay the case, and it very likely will till after Election Day. The Trump folks and they do have the right to try to use every delay tactic in the book, and I just personally am pissed off about this. This is the case of her lifetime. It's a sweeping RICO case. It's a tough one. I think she actually has what she needs to prove this case.
She does.
One of my best friends, Cassie Hutchinson, spent months in Atlanta protected by U.S. Marshals to testify for this case.
She's a brave girl.
Now it may all fall apart because these allegations of
impropriety. It's not going to fall apart.
Yeah, well, again, it may fall apart, right? It's going to fall apart because Miss Fani Willis is obsessed with vitamin D. And again, I want you to notice the cope here from Joy Behar. Well, it's not going to fall apart. Sonny said it's not going to fall apart. Well, Sonny doesn't know a damn thing, right? Sonny is coping just like everybody else. The fact that she's sitting here trying to say, well, it's not a big deal. we treat prosecutors like roaches, right? You kill two, you just replace them. Okay, well, you do understand that it takes time, right? That's not something they can do instantly, right? You have to get the next prosecutors set up on the case, okay, so that they can take over. That's not something that can be done overnight. Also, on top of that, she claimed that, well, this is the guy that she hired because the best guys wouldn't take the job, right? And right before that, she claimed that, well, it's not a big deal because, hey, they may find better prosecutors to go after Trump. And I'm like, okay, well, how can you find better prosecutors if all the best people, according to you, have denied coming on to the case, right? So to me, it seems like if she drops, not only is it going to delay the case, but they're going to find prosecutors that are even worse, right? That are not as qualified, which, I mean, hey, that's kind of hard to imagine considering how apparently she was stuck with Nathan Wade, who is definitely unqualified. He's an affirmative action hire because the best people turned down the case, right? So again, a lot of this is just cope. It doesn't even make sense.
No, but it could delay until after the election. I do agree that it could be delayed because they would have to get new prosecutors.
If prosecutors are like roaches, you can't end at 3 asks. So if you're saying they asked 2 really qualified, then one who's never taken on this level, and it might be the career for a lifetime, keep asking because there's more there.
Yeah. I'm pissed off too because when you are, I'm very pissed off too because when you are a woman of color in such a high-profile position, you know that the scrutiny that's going to befall you is greater than on anybody else. And she needed to have kept her house clean.
I will say...
Yeah, I mean, she should have, right? Again, it's a very poor reflection on black women, right? For the people that boohoo whine and complain about, why are there not more black people in leadership? Why don't they give us a chance, right? Well, look at people like Fani Willis and her behavior, and that'll answer your question. People like her are a disgrace to black folks who do have a clean record, who are trying to move up, who are qualified for jobs and positions like that, not getting jobs because people have questions about professionalism. And the worst part about it is her response to it, okay? Because she's responding in a very stereotypical way that a lot of these people who happen to be black, they get in these positions of power, they get caught red-handed doing something wrong, and instead of taking responsibility and accountability for it, I mean, she's not even flat out denying it. She's just saying that anybody that talks about it is racist, right? You're racist, you hate black women, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is not a good look for black people who are aspiring to be in these types of position of power. It is what it is, okay? It is what it is. It ain't because people scrutinize black folks more than anybody else. That's not it. It's because when you put so-called people of color in positions of power like this, and then they mess up, and then they act the way that she's acting, again, it gives these people who want these positions of powers, it gives them bad names, right? It makes them look bad. It smears them. Okay? Nobody wants to deal with hiring somebody that if you have to fire them, they're going to pull the race card on you and say, well, you fired me because you're racist, because I'm a woman. It's pathetic. It really is.
There are still allegations, but I feel that way.
But you have a legal note, real quickly, if there's nothing going on, because she has not confirmed or denied, which is another criticism she's getting. If someone was making a false accusation, you come out and say, this is wrong. You guys, you don't understand.
There's a big paper
that's
trail
delaying a big part of this. Until they reassign this case, she has a stop on it, and she knows better.
I agree with you. You don't go to a black church. You have a press conference and you deny it if you're not doing it.
Well, that's... because the allegations are true. That's why she's not denying it, right? That's why she's putting on this show, trying to pull the sympathy card, the racism card, the old black women are allowed to make mistakes, right? This is the type of stuff she's saying. She's admitting guilt without actually really admitting it, right? It is what it is. I mean, I would respect her more if she just came out and just admitted the truth and say, yeah, this is what's happening. I'm going to step down, right? And just do what, hey, she probably should do in this situation. But instead, no. She's trying to blame everybody else. And again, the cope here is hilarious. These women are literally coping with the fact that their Lord and Savior, Fani Willis, screwed herself because she couldn't stop screwing other people, okay? And when it comes to this case against Trump, and it's just hilarious. This is everything that she deserves, right? She deserves everything that's happening to her, okay? Because again, before you try to go after other folks, you need to make sure that your house is clean, right? I'm just keeping it 100. That's how it works.
But there's still allegations, and that's why I have a legal note. District Attorney Fani Willis has neither confirmed nor denied a relationship with Nathan Wade and has denied claims she acted improperly in hiring him. Wade has not responded to the allegations.
You know, this is the Trump playbook. Postpone everything. Postpone the border. Postpone the economy. Postpone everything. And postpone this case. He figures, oh, maybe I'll be in office and I won't have to go to jail. That is his whole MO.
Yeah, they're pissed, right? She's pissed. She's pissed because that's exactly what's about to happen, right? He's going to be in office, and even if they convict him later on down the line, how is he going to go to jail, right? It's not like some county jail is going to be able to imprison the president. It's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen. So again, this is hilarious, okay? I am loving this. I am loving each and every last second of this case falling apart against Fani Willis. She deserves it, okay? And hey, it is what it is. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.